I'm feeling you, baby. Take you out, maybe. I know things have changed like we never had dated. Shit between us was just so complicated. Back from the club, I'm just too fucking faded. My birthday last week.
Good evening. It's Lord Thaumiel at Lord Thaumiel's The Podcast, and it's a privilege and an honor to introduce Mike. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Now, Mike is multifaceted, multi-talented, but we're going to start with his music production. And I want to know, how long have you been producing music, and who are some of your musical inspirations?
It probably started maybe around like 2014. I started dabbling with it, and then I took probably like a good year and a half break off of it until I could get the right hardware to produce it on my own instead of going to my friend's house. So I've been pretty heavy on it for about the past like year. I just put out a project about a month and a half ago on SoundCloud. It's just like a 7-track beat tape. And as far as influences go, production-wise, I'd probably say definitely The Alchemist, J Dilla, Knowledge, No ID, Clams Casino, Thelonious Martin, like just a lot of people you don't hear on an everyday basis.
Now, what are your favorite genres of music?
To be honest, I honestly like fuck with everything. Everything across the board: alternative rock, heavy metal, rap, hip hop, R&B, country. The only thing I probably don't fuck with is pop. But other than that, like, I honestly fuck with everything because I'm just open-minded, and if I fuck with it, then I fuck with it.
In my day, we would call that eclectic.
I like that word.
Yeah, it's very eclectic.
I like that.
If you can you tell us your musical process, or one of your processes, step by step, when you come to beat making?
Well, I try not to force things. Okay. I try to just feel it. So if I'm on my way home from work one day, I'll probably just, when I go home, I'm going to try to make a beat today. And I just go based on my mood. Whether I'm feeling, happy, I'll go with something uplifting. If I'm feeling, a little mellow, then I'll probably make some soul shit. Okay. So I really go based on how I'm feeling and not to force things. When you force it, a lot of times you fuck up.
Okay, now what kind of hardware and software do you use for your music production?
I use a Machine MPC. That's the drum pad. It has 16 pads. You do your effects and shit on there. Also the Machine software and a Mac laptop and a Kai keyboard for the melodies and to harmonize with it.
Okay, what do you use the software to track it up? Reason or Fruity Loops?
No, Machine.
Oh, that's the name of it?
Yeah, the hardware and the software. It's to me personally, I haven't dabbled in other ones like Fruity Loops and stuff, but Machine is it's just so easy and hands-on that you can pick it up like that.
Okay, now I want to ask 2 questions. How do you feel about sampling, and do you use a lot of samples in your music?
I don't have a problem with it as long as, 1, you give credit where credit's due. Right. And 2, you make it your own thing. Because I know a lot of people that they'll take a sample and they'll loop just like one part of it instead of breaking it down, putting some effects on it, tweaking them to make it their beat, their song, instead of
like Panda.
Yeah. And shit some songs you gotta really listen to hear oh shit, he used that. Whereas some songs you pick it up like that.
I dig it.
And I do use samples here and there, but again, like I said, I'll take a piece, I'll mix it, I'll chop it up, I'll put it in a different harmony so you don't recognize it right away, or if you do, it's nostalgic.
So right now, what would you say is your prime genre of what do you make?
Definitely hip hop and rap.
Hip hop and rap.
I like to do more of boom bap, more soul, mellow, but sometimes I'll do a little trap or I'll do a little hard shit like some New York shit. But mostly I'd say very smooth hip hop.
Okay, now would you like to go to other avenues once you master that, or you just focus on hip hop for a while?
Definitely. If you look up Knowledge, it's the word knowledge except for it's an X. His kind of music is very different, and I love to learn how he makes that kind of music, because the way he just chops up samples and just does shit, it's brilliant. I really want to learn how to do shit like him, and Flying Lotus.
Okay.
Definitely Flying Lotus. Shout outs to him.
How long did it take you to get familiar with all the hardware and tools and tracks and what have you?
Honestly, not that quick, because I'm the kind of person that picks up things very quickly. So by me just watching my boy Shane make his beats, how he tweaks it, how he does effects. I started picking it up, and then days I would sleep over his house and he'd have to go to work. He'd be like, "Yo, just this is my password. Just if you want to make a beat, make a beat." And I'd be down there. I remember I was down there for 8 hours making my first like real beat, and it was like he came home. I was like, "Yo, like peep this shit." He was like, "Yo, that's dope. You learned a lot." So I'd say to really get into it, maybe like 6 months.
Okay.
Like 4 to 6 months.
Now, do you have any artists in particular you would like to work with in the future?
That's a tough one. That's. I definitely like to throw something towards like Ab-Soul or Joey Badass. You know, a lot of conscious rappers that are like they're there but they're not there yet. Like Ab-Soul is definitely slept on. He's such a lyrical, knowledgeable dude. I would definitely love to send some shit his way. Also Currency.
Currency, yeah.
Definitely throw some shit out to Currency one time.
What is your current thoughts on the state of hip hop?
It's a fucking mess, to be honest. I mean, we live in a world where like everyone gets a trophy. You feel me?
Indeed.
Like everyone gets a trophy. No matter how hard you work for it, you're making and wearing the same shit that this dude is making, and he's nowhere near your level. You feel me? Like you got these bum ass SoundCloud artists rocking the same jewelry as like Travis Scott and these big name people, and it's trash. Like people just they don't want lyrics no more. They want to just bob their head and just act ridiculous. And then as soon as you hear some conscious shit, you're like, oh nah, that's trash.
It's making me think too much, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think.
Like for instance, that XXXTentacion nigga, he dropped his freshman freestyle today, and that nigga was spitting some shit.
He's very intelligent, crazy young man.
Yes, like and everyone was in the comments putting up like trash emojis and shit emojis, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like if you listen to his project Revenge and just songs he has up, this dude be on he can make some shit you mosh to, and then he'll make some shit that sounds like Kid Cudi.
Yeah, he's
Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Yeah, he's a genius.
I got into him because a lot of his songs, he had a couple songs that sound like punk.
Yeah.
Punk rock. I like him. He's very versatile.
Very.
But it's hip hop. Hopefully he can stay out the penitentiary. You know.
I think he will.
Hoping the best. But that case he got with his baby mother ain't looking too good.
We'll see.
What do you want your listeners to feel when they listen to your music?
I want them to feel what I feel or what I felt. Like I like to put a lot of my life experiences into my beats and into some of the things that I write. So, like I said, if I'm feeling very, very chill one day, I want them to listen to that and be like, ooh, roll up a joint, lay back and just smoke. Or if I'm feeling mad, I want them to like hear that shit and they can connect with it.
Okay. What do you want your legacy to be overall?
That's a good question. Never thought about that. Just to be known as like a positive dude that tried to just spread truth and knowledge like wherever he went, and just an overall like good guy that cares for people. I don't really care too much for all that like that money and that fame shit. Like I just want to be real. I want to be genuine. That's what I want to be known for.
You sound like you want to be Jesus.
I do often sometimes refer to myself as a second coming of Christ. So it fits.
If you can, what advice can you give younger people out there who's aspiring to be a music producer?
Just to really, I know it sounds cliche and corny, but off the top of my head, like just stick to you, because there's too many people out there that try to sound the same and are following the same lane, and nobody wants to take the road less traveled. They all want to get that quick come up, no matter like what it is, and things worth having take hard work. And take persistence and dedication, and it's not always easy, but to show character you have to move past it, and that's really what I tell them, just to stay to them and follow those rules.
Okay. Well, I want to get into some of your martial arts, and I wanted to start off with what martial arts do you study, and how long you been studying that?
Well, I practice in Muay Thai, Panatukan boxing, regular boxing, and Jeet Kune Do. soon I'll be taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Jeet Kune Do, the art of fighting without fighting.
Yes, sir.
Be like Wata, formless.
Trapping.
Now, which one of those you fancy the most?
Oh, definitely Muay Thai and boxing. I love striking. I actually taken a break from JKD after a while because I really just wanted to focus on my striking
Okay.
and my maneuverability that way, and then focus on that. But I'm definitely, taking the Muay Thai. I actually came from sparring there tonight, so it was a very productive day.
Now, how has martial arts helped you physically and mentally?
It definitely, it definitely teaches you a lot of patience, and because you have to see where the punch is coming from, and to try to get around it and find an opening on him all within like 2 seconds. You have to learn how to capitalize and study your opponent. But also, it teaches you to be tough and to really push through it, because there's times I'll be getting washed, but at first it's like, damn, you put yourself down, but then after a while you realize, you go out there and you try your hardest, and that's how you get better.
Okay. How hard was it your first week of training? Can you tell us the difficulties and if you thought of quitting, what motivated you to keep at it?
Yeah, it's very difficult because it was very difficult the first week because I wasn't used to that type of training, because this school is like very official. It's not one of those like little bullshit schools. It was tough because the warm up alone is like 10 minutes and it's pretty intense, the things that they have us do.
Okay.
And then after that it's about, we finish at 7:10. From like 7:10 to 7:40 we're practicing drills, combos and everything, and then from like 7:40 to 8 we're sparring. And a lot of these guys are like professional fighters or amateur fighters. Like some of them have been to Glory. 2 of them are actually going to Glory at Madison Square Garden July 14th, which is pretty cool. It was very tough, but there's been a lot of times in life where I've quit, and that time I felt and I've seen the positivity and the change in my life, and that's what made me realize, like, I gotta keep going, because I'm tired of just never mind, like I'll get to it later or whatever. But I kept through it and I'm happy I am.
So did martial arts in any way help you defeat procrastination?
Somewhat, yeah. There's still a little procrastination in me that, sometimes I feel like making a beat, but I'll just, nah. But sometimes there's others where like, nah, like, let me stop being a lazy fuck and actually do something. So it has helped somewhat.
How long did it take for you to get in rhythm or get familiar that you actually seen what you was being taught was coming into light?
I'd say probably like 2 months. 2 months of training 4 or 5 days a week, sparring almost every day, to really like notice the way I was moving differently and how I was hitting guys more and doing more things effectively.
If you can tell us, what is your daily workout regimen?
Well, after I go to work, I usually go to the academy, which is on the martial arts academy, which is on Canal Street. I go there, and some days I'm usually there from about 2 to 6, and for about an hour or two, like, I'll just be hitting the heavy bag, and then I have fight training for another 2 hours. So I'm usually there for like 2 to 4 hours a day. Just if I'm not hitting the heavy bag, I'm doing cardio or push-ups, or I'm fight training and sparring. So
okay. Has your diet changed since you've been training?
yeah, for sure.
How so?
For sure. Definitely had to cut out a lot of junk to lean up. And definitely no more fried foods. I actually don't even really eat meat like that. I try to eat as clean as I can. And I've really noticed a difference, because even now I'll have like a piece of chicken and I'll feel like my stomach will feel a little weird about it. But yeah, for sure. More veggies, more fruits, smoothies, water. Like, I cut out soda. If I want something sweet, like, I'll have juice. So the diet definitely is. The diet was the most important thing. The workout is like 30%. The diet is like 70% of that.
Now, I hear that you try to cut out meat, and you've been working out, but you still have unprotected sex. Are you afraid of that
Nah, not
with your
at
martial
all.
arts training?
Nah, you know I gotta. I know I ain't gonna catch no HIV. I'm good off the HIV.
Well, that's only one of many. You know.
I mean, I've been sleeping with the same girl for about 1.5 years now. Just started having raw sex like a few months ago. It's fucking amazing.
Magic Johnson's been sleeping with Cookie for 20 years.
Well, Magic Johnson is Magic Johnson. That man is. So he might have been sleeping with one woman, so they say, but he got the hit from somewhere.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
My man's got the hit.
Now, can you tell us, how old are you?
22. I'll be 23 in September.
23 in September. And where were you born and raised?
Oh, Bronx.
Bronx?
I don't fucking know what hospital I was born in. But yeah, I was born and raised in the Bronx. Lived in Maryland for a little bit, but then I came back here.
Okay, well, thank you for not being a heroin addict, because in Maryland, that happens a lot.
Yeah, I was in the sticks.
Now, where did you go to high school?
I went to high school right there, St. Raymond's. It was a very fun 4 years.
It's funny, you're the third person I've interviewed from St. Raymond's.
Yeah,
That is insane.
It's
Good alumni.
Very
Talented
small
people
circle.
come from St. Raymond's. Did you go to college after St. Raymond's?
Yeah, I went to BMCC for about 2 years, and then some shit had happened in my life where I had to, try to find a full-time job and start making some money. So I put that to the side, and I've been working ever since.
How was your college experience?
Honestly, it was like high school, man, because there was so many people from raised there. Like, everyone was so like immature and young-minded. Nobody really took it seriously. It was fun, but I really feel like it didn't make a big like change in my life. It didn't make a really big impact. School is not for me. Like that type of like knowledge, that school knowledge, it's not for me.
So when did you get the epiphany, far as, all right, I tried the school thing, I want to do this music?
Well, I knew about the school thing as soon as I left and I started working. I was like, word, fuck that. But the music thing, just after fucking around with it for a while and realizing I was actually pretty damn good and getting a lot of great feedback from other people, I was like, you know what, like let me try to learn more and dig a little deeper into it. So I'd say, yeah, probably like 2015 was when I really started, when I made that epiphany.
What kind of advice do you have for young men over the nation who's basically taking care of themselves, being independent, strong young men, or trying to be? For all the young men who just left their mother's house and, trying to get a solid foundation, what advice could you offer them?
That's a good question. It's hard, especially at a young age. Like, it's really far, and especially in like today's age, because it's hard to get a job, and New York is expensive as shit. So
That's true.
it can be very hard. But if you have people that love and support you and that help you on the way, like, that's great. And it's alright to ask for help sometimes. Like, I know a lot of people have too much pride, or they have too much of an ego to ask for help. But sometimes when you're down and out, you need that hand to help pick you up.
Indeed.
And it's no shame to you, it's nothing, just everybody needs help sometimes. But to really just, keep your head up and try to not let life and like other people put your head down on your path.
I'm sorry to ask this question. While you was in St. Raymond's, did you encounter any homoerotica with the Monsignor?
Nah. I seen some gay shit with some students. I don't know if the priest was touching boys.
If the boys were touching boys.
But the boys was touching boys. And a few of them got caught too, so.
Well, that's just homosexuality. There's nothing illegal about that. So, you realized that being a student wasn't for you. You wanted to take the old school route and ground and pound, chase your dream.
Yes,
Are you familiar with mastering? Are you at the point of mastering your tracks yet?
No.
No.
I feel like, me personally, I feel like nobody in life ever really masters anything, because I feel like there's always something to learn, or there's always some way to get better. And I feel like I'm getting better, and I'm learning things about myself that I need to stop, or that I need to do more. But, excuse me. But, yeah.
If we could get a little bit more intimate, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you about how is it having interracial relations with a woman of African descent?
It's actually really dope, to be honest. Cause for one reason, I like controversy, so I like being out sometimes and like getting the stares. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Her family's fucking awesome.
That's great.
Like her family's great. I fuck with them. They fuck with me. I'm actually going over there in like 2 weeks because she's having a reunion. But it's really cool. Like she puts me on to a lot of shit. Like she opens my mind and my eyes to a lot of things as well.
Is this your first African experience, or you crossed this path before?
I've gotten neck from a black chick before.
What is neck? I'm sorry, I'm 31.
I've got some head from a black chick
fellatio.
before. Yeah, I've gotten some fellatio for the pinkies up kind of people. But yeah, it was kind of whack because her pussy stank too. So I didn't fuck. So I just caused. So like she was drunk, I was sober. I was like, fuck it. You know, cause some head. It was like, bro, it was like 12 noon too. But it was maybe the pussy stank, kicked out. That was it.
Now, obviously your lady's vagina smells fresh now.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't be with her.
Yeah.
Is she African American or West Indian?
She's African American. She did one of them little DNA tests. I think them shits is a fluke, but who knows?
Yeah.
But she did one of them little DNA tests. I think she like 83% African, and then like the others like some kind of like Europe or some shit.
Masters.
Yeah,
Slave
unfortunately.
Masters. Okay, and you say you've been with her for 2 years?
I'll be with her for 2 years this year, December 30th.
And how being a young man and being in a committed relationship, along with multitasking your own, life, how's that going for you?
It's a challenge sometimes, but it definitely was great because she took me out of my comfort zone. Like I was bouncing from place to place living, and we actually got our own place together. We lived together, so like she really made me more of an adult and made me more responsible.
That's what black women do.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Nice. She's great.
Now, 2-year relationship, you're working, you're doing martial arts, you're doing some music.
Yes.
Where would you like to be in 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
5 years, that's a great question. I would definitely love to have my own land.
Yeah.
And just live off the land somewhere desolate,
Grizzly Adams shit.
Yeah, some real chill shit. Learn to live off the land, grow my own stuff.
Have a whole bunch of yellow babies running around. I dig it.
You feel me? Something nice.
So 5 years, you want to basically reap your benefits and just relax. Like Dave Chappelle kind of.
Yes, sir.
He's in West Buffalo, chilling on his farm.
If not 5 years, at least by the age of 30, I say.
Okay. Have you performed live?
No. I've been with my boy that's performed live.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty cool.
Where has he performed?
He's performed at a few spots in Queens, and one spot in Long Island, and one spot in LES.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw some words at you, and I just want you to say the first thing that pops into your head. Pain.
Emotion.
Love.
Hate.
Sex.
Joy.
Murder.
Ooh, weapon.
Money.
Fame.
Accomplishment.
Goals.
Mike.
Adventurous.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have a very talented Mike. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to see you again.
Definitely.
Many blessings and positivity to your road.
I'm very happy to see you manifest this. It was a thought, and then boom, it was a reality just like that. I really fuck with it. You're on your shit, and that's really dope, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. Well,
Children are recording music for the appearance of the monster.
Fuck all that shit, there I go one dog and only your bitch. Eating the pussy like cannibalistic, your bitch on my collar, watch out for the lipstick. Swallow my dick like a mystic. See her man calling, she missed it. Butter her face like a biscuit. Molly me rolling in biscuit. Nigga, I'm wishing you would. Clubbing you down and send you to the woods. Ayy, rolling it up in the backwood. Leaving my kids on your mattress. My bitch is bad like an actress. Your bitch is asking for taxes. Splatter your brain like a canvas. I need me some brain like a mantis. Rip you to shreds like a Wolverine. Drinking your blood like I'm charging shit. Sticking your ass with the Vaseline. Flaming your ass with the gasoline. Cut down your throat with the guillotine. Sipping too much of promethazine. Gave her the dick and she hit the lead. Falling in love, bitch, I'm villaging.
Here's part of John's story with space music by the children.
One day I went in a rocket. It went up and up and up, and the gravity was trying to pull the rockets back, but the rockets were too powerful.
Come in my tower, your life I devour. Smoking on the sour, got purple like chowder. I feel like I'm bouncing your bitch in my trousers. I'm courage, you coward, can't fuck with my power. In space I mean outer, you see me just cooking, just pass me the powder. I fly autopilot, you swimming like flounder. She throwing it back, then of course I'm a powder. Knocking out the pussy like her name is Rhonda. Going low like Gordo, that's without the diploma. Trying to catch a case, a nigga get a lawyer. Cause I'm getting rowdy, fuck the law and order. Buy it by the ounce, meet at the corner. If you trying to die with meet up at the corridor. I catch you sleeping, ripping out your cornea. It's susceptible in your peripheral, that shit is typical, let that shit back. You if it right, that's my whole gang. Just cause I'm black, it don't mean I can't hang. Already fucked up and it's only pre-game. Yo bitch is feeling all up on the way. Reach for my collar, I'm ripping your chain. Slid down the wrist, make sure to hit the vein. Locked in my basement, so let's play a game. My idol is beeping, my mind is deranged. Head